be fucking stupid. Shit. I always have to like adjust this damn thing. Oh, that's just fucking terrific. That's just fucking terrific. Okay, that should work. So, I think. Okay, maybe not. Okay. Now I do that. Dogo, dogo. That works. Or not, I guess. Okay. There we go. Okay, that actually works. Cool. Okay, okay. Good bowl going. Bada bing, bada boom. Sweet, sweet. Ah. Fucking damn it, man. Oh, no audio. Wait, was there no audio there for a minute? I don't know. Okay, I do not know. I legit do not know how long I was no audio for then. What the fuck? I was just in a no audio mode there moment. Okay. Don't know when that happened. Yeah, there was no audio. Yeah, as soon as he said something, I looked over to where the mic button was, and yeah, it was muted. I don't know for how long, though, to be honest. So maybe I was, like, got no audio for like 10 fucking minutes or some shit. Who knows? Oh, pop, pop. All right, goofball, you can, there we go. There we go. But yeah, it was alright. But yeah, oh. And dark of the Trump debate flop. I mean, like, did you, did you, like, actually get a chance to watch the debate? Because I kind of looked at it a little bit earlier, today. I was kind of listening to it again, earlier this morning before I went to work and before I did a little coffee stream. I mean, while, yeah, Trump, like, flopped miserably, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily inherently say Kamala won. I mean, I would just say that it was basically, essentially just like, no, I'm better. No, I'm better. No, your policies suck. No, your policies. It was just like high school shit, really. They're absolutely terrible. Well, yeah. I mean, it's not so much Kamala won, it's that Trump just did so horribly. I mean, that's basically is like what a lot of people have kind of been feeling, and at least from what it feels like, generally with how people feel about it. And even then, despite that, a lot of people, that already were pretty, leaning on Kamala or Trump, they're already pretty much like convinced one way or the other, that their person did pretty good. Harris reacted perfectly. I mean, I don't really think she did perfectly. There's a lot of things where I thought she was just being way too fucking soft with. And it would just do a lot of like, I pledge and I promise and I am pledging to kind of shit. So, I mean, it didn't really leave me with a sense of confidence that much, but it did at least leave me with like, well, she did throw some punches, but I was expecting like some boom, some haymakers and shit, because she had a perfect opportunity to, considering how just delusional Trump was sounding. Because every time I tuned in, to that shit, it just kind of sounded like, Mamala, coconut mommy over here had a shot of tequila or two, while you got old crazy deranged uncle fucking grandpappy over here going on a psycho racist rant about something. I mean, it just kind of felt like one of those like weird Thanksgiving parties where you got like grandpa arguing at like the other grandma from, your mom's side or some shit. Trump for the haymaker said himself. You want to know who really threw the haymakers? Those moderators. Like, honestly, in my opinion, I thought the moderators were the ones who did the best. They actually did their fucking jobs. It was one of the rare times of media where I honestly was kind of shocked about, like, whoa, yeah, they actually fucking, like, did their jobs for once and actually did so critically. Just shake her head and laugh at Trump's absurdities. Yeah. I mean, I'm not, like, trying to, like, say she sucked or she lost or anything. I'm just saying that I just don't think she performed as well as she really could have. I mean, like I said, a lot of the feelings that people, are kind of feeling, at least especially on the kind of Kamala side of things, is that she didn't necessarily, like, absolutely win. She just looked definitely better than Trump on that stage just because she didn't really have to do much. I mean, that's just kind of like, and I kind of agree, honestly, but, and it's just one of those things to where there was honestly only like one point, and it was pretty much near the end of the debate, and I think it was near the rambly closing section or just before the closing section of things. But there was at one point where it's like, Trump says like, oh, well, Kamala, you are vice president right now, and you could be doing some of these things that you say the pledge, and you could do it. But why aren't you doing it? You know, it's like, and that was pretty much the only thing that I think Trump did. Where I was like, oh, fair question, just wrong messenger, because the fuck you doing going yelling off like a deranged old racist fuckwit, like after like a loon. So it really just undermined pretty much like any like force into that thing that he said. So it's not really giving him a point, to be honest. It's just kind of saying, yeah, that's like the only thing that kind of was worth the fuck about. He kind of like called her out on that, and it just was like dismissed because he just gish scallops random insane shit. And most of it is just utter lies, and just and no pun intended, straight up fake news. Dude, I don't know if you've, I don't think you have, but well, have you heard of Tyler Oliveira? He's like one of these new and honestly kind of clever right-wing dudes who does this independent journalism where he visits, like, I visit Zombieland and it's like Portland, or it's like I visit where all drugs are legal, visits like Vancouver or some shit. He now just did, oh, I'm going to go visit, Springfield where there's Haitians eating cats. Is that true? Kind of thing. Oh, that fucker. Yeah, that guy. I know I've shown him on my channel before, so I know, and I've talked about him, so I know you have to at least be familiar with him. But yeah, I'm sure you haven't went and watched this shit on your own time. The only time I ever do is if I'm watching Hassan, because frankly, I am not giving him a view. I'd rather give Hassan fan channels a view if he's reacting to it. But dude, literally within one day, he also has copycats who do the same shit. And what's funny is that Tyler Oliveira is a copycat of Mr. Beast. Like, if you actually go back on his YouTube channel, like, I shit you not, if I'm not saying shit, but if you want to, it's like one of those things where it's like, if you go on his channel and go far back enough on his videos, you'll find out that there is a point where he actually started transitioning into it. Like, for a long time, he was just doing, like, copy pasta Mr. Beast content. Like the shit that Mr. Beast still does. Like, for the longest time, that's what he did. But now he's doing this right-wing grift bullshit, and now he has copycats who are doing his shit because he's a copycat of a copycat. And now he has copycats copycat of him because he's copycatting somebody else. It's copycatception. But yeah, he went to fucking Springfield, by the way, it was Ohio. Springfield, Ohio, and he went there talking to some different people there. Bro, I'm not gonna lie. He found somebody that, unironically, I shit you not, is like quasi-dimensionally racist as fuck. Like, dude, he is like, I literally got in my genetic DNA, I'm so dimensionally, quantumly racist. Cause like, dude, in the fucking video, he's like, I don't, take kind of these goddamn fucking saying N-words coming in, these fucking Haitians, wherever the fuck they come from. And then there's like one off at the distance in his neighborhood. It's like, hey, fuck you. Dude, he calls them out and shit too. It's like, and that same right-wing shit, shitbag, it's just like, do you want them to know that? It's like, goddamn right. I want them to know I hate them, and I don't want them here. It's like openly like proud of it. A rural Ohio racist? It just can't be. Well, it wasn't a rural area. It was in Springfield. Like, this is some neighborhood in Springfield. And also, like, he had a whole interview where, they talked back and forth for a little bit, too. And, like, I mean, it pretty much bought into the whole weird shit about, like, Haitians eating animals and different stuff, people's pets. And honestly, unironically, the most least racist Ohioan. Isn't that real? I've never heard of bumfuck Springfield, Ohio. Me neither. That's why I thought it was like Springfield, Illinois or some shit. You know what I mean? Because I doubt it'd be Springfield, Oregon, because that's too close to Eugene, so there'd be a lot of stoner hippie people there. So at least on the virtue of proximity. 58K, so I guess small city. Yeah, it's decent town, decent-sized town, small city, medium, large-sized town. So I want to say rural, but, that's... My guess is it'd basically be the equivalent of, like, what, like Bend or something? The equivalent of... Well, Bend is actually bigger. But, I don't know, what? I mean, I've never heard of Springfield, Ohio, so I mean, honestly, it's not that significant. Though, to be fair, there's only two like cities in Ohio that I only know of: Columbus and Cleveland. I know Columbus because TJ and Scotty used to live there, so they've talked about their time being there before. And then there's Cleveland, and well, Cleveland, Cleveland Browns. You know, got just I don't know. It's Cleveland. I honestly got no thoughts about it other than it's Cleveland, I guess, and it's in Ohio. But either way, I mean, it's just like the most absurd fucking shit, dude. I mean, and also it delved into some weird other shit that they were getting into, and it was that apparently Haitians can't drive. So like the other half of the video was basically about all these damn Haitians just can't drive. I see them, running over curbs and hitting trash cans and this and that, blah blah blah. And it's just like, bro, you're all bumblefuck hillbilly white people, okay? The amount of times, even in my own little fucking town, I've seen, y'all white people dumbasses fucking, bumping into shit, like, crashing into people and shit. Like, the one car accident I was in, it was by some kind of yokel hillbilly white guy in his big ass junked up truck. So, I mean, it seems like, more often than not, people who are going to sound like, it sounds like the dude. It's not just a dude. It's multiple people. It's like what they believe. It's like a stereotype that they have. Like, oh, we had a bunch of like, Haitian immigrants and, shit because, we had a job shortage or, like worker shortage because there was too many jobs, not enough people. And, like 5+ years ago. So this is what I do, at least know from what when Hassan was reacting to it. Springfield in like the last like 5-something years has been kind of growing again because of a lot of this migrant work and a lot of people coming into the country and, moving into Springfield just in general, taking jobs and shit. And, and a lot of it, comes from, the fact that there's now starting to have like, a few opportunities, in the Midwest, at least in Ohio in this case. And a lot of these people that have been living for a long time out in Springfield are now just butthurt about it, and they're taking it out on the Haitian migrants that are working there and been there for the last 5 years. We don't want growth. We want to sit down with us, dude. I mean, it really is like that, though. Like, dude, you know how many, at least when I've been in Texas, you know how many of these tiny little small towns where there's like a few old buildings that have either been reconverted in some old taverns that's been there since like the 80s or some shit or the 90s, because it used to be like a little factory or some shit or like a mill, or whatever the fuck. And then like the other factories and mills around have just been burnt to the ground and like made into other shit or just sort of abandoned lots now. Dude, there were so many random ass little small towns dotted all throughout Texas, especially places like outside of Dallas and shit. Like if you go, south of Dallas, Fort Worth, out in like the outlying areas, like there are some of these places that are starting to grow back again a little bit, not in ways that are good, really necessarily, to be honest with you. It's Texas urban planning, so you can imagine it being shit. But I mean, nonetheless, I guess technically they are growing, but a lot of these places, I can name a few of them. Like there's like Grandview, Granson, the few of these tiny ass little towns that have like maybe at most 1,000 or so people at most, are just straight crumbling and there's just like fucking nothing there. But it's like, oh, we don't want to take migrants or other people moving here. We don't want no damn liberals come down here and like revitalize our community and bring jobs. God forbid. And then they wonder why their kids, why their 8 children ranging from like 23 to like 16 don't want to live in that fucking shithole town anymore. And you wonder why these boomers wonder that shit, and that's why, because, they don't want to accept the growth and the change, that comes with that at the end of the day is positive. And a lot of it is just it just generally is necessary, and it's just a win-win across the board. Especially when you legitimately properly integrate these people. And by that, I mean just naturalize their citizenship, at least when it comes to migrant folk. When it comes to just people moving in there, just treat them like, any other fucking person, you know what I mean? Basic fucking respect. Be like, oh, you're new to town. What's your story? If anything, be curious about it. Dude, whenever I get people, like, dude, I've had, like, coworkers that have come from places like fucking Ethiopia, Pennsylvania, fucking, like, Ohio, Montana, fucking Tennessee. I know I had at least one coworker, not in my department, but at least in my store, that I used to be the manager for produce that came from the guy. And, but this is well before the war. This is, like, back in, like, 2017, 18 or some shit. It's like I met people from all over this country and the fucking world, whether multi-generational or migrants themselves, that have come to this fucking place and, coming here to say, hey, I want to earn some work and make a living and have an opportunity. Whether it's here or anywhere else, Springfield, Ohio, or anywhere else, this is what people are fucking looking for and shit. And frankly, at the end of the day, the people, especially the migrants, are the ones committing less crimes all in all, statistically. Because they have way more to lose if they're doing even something as benign while serious, when it comes to like maybe walking publicly or intoxicated or having an open container while walking around or doing a traffic ticket or some shit. Even if it's something as benign as that, that is a make or break, lose it all for them kind of thing. Why in the fuck do you think those people want to risk that? Darn migrants from Pennsylvania, stupid gerbs. I know, right? Well, I mean, point being, though, is I've met people, getting work, whether at my store or otherwise, from not just only in this country, but all over the fucking world. And I just find it so silly that lately this whole weird xenophobic bullshit right now is, about, like, Haitians eating cats and being shit drivers and they're taking gerbs. It's like it's the take the gerbs, that's always, the fucking, main forte at the end of the day, usually. And, but they always have to use something to fearmonger or justify this, premise of it. And it's so fucking dumb. Want to play pool? What time is it? Well, I mean, I am broke as a fucking bitch, like, straight up, like... If you're willing to buy me a drink or two, I mean, I'm like overdrawn like $15 right now. So, I mean, I don't, it's switch to a different stream. Yeah, that's just kind of how they are. There's a little skibbity scroll that happens, but hey, I mean, honestly, sometimes there are some random ass people that'll pop in and chill for a minute and chat it up for a while, and some of them have been kind of regulars coming back. So, I mean, it's generally been kind of interesting, kind of fun right now to have some new people pop in. So, I'm just gonna kind of let the experiment ride for a minute. Gotta be paid like $1,200 tomorrow and have like. Jesus Christ, dude. Well, fucking flexing over here. Damn, fancy pants. Though I know the main reason why I'm a little overcharged. Luckily, not to the point where I'm getting a fee over it. I got overdraft fee protections. So anything like over $50 doesn't get overdrafted or it doesn't get a fee. So that's good. So I don't have to worry about that. But what was I about to say? But I know why it's a little short, just because I did take some sick days, the last couple weeks with the volume bomb block party and shit like that. And then with the seaside trip and all that shit. I know my paychecks are going to be a little short this week and last week, so, I mean, I kind of figured I was going to be a little short, by this time anyway. But, this coming paycheck and the next hell paycheck should be nice and juicy and well. Should be my usual nice and juicy paychecks, so I'm not really too worried about it. Oh, that also reminds me, Rip, let me know what I owe you for the hotel, and then, after that, I'll, keep finishing on paying you off on everything else. I give you like $20. You don't need it to be overdrawn. Well, I'm not getting an overdraft fee because I've been overdrawn since I think like Monday or Tuesday morning. So and again because I have overdraft fee protection, so I'm not really worried about it. I just kind of am chugging it out until get paid tomorrow. That's what I'm saying. If you just want to buy me a drink or two or something like that, then whatever. But that's it. Like $10 worth of whiskey and cokes, which is basically 2 drinks. We need to decide percentages also because if you're sleeping in a bag, you should pay less than Tyler and I. Well, sure. If anything, like let's say if the hotel's like 130 or something like that, maybe I could pay like 30 and then maybe you, Tyler, split the rest or something like that. Because then, if I give you like $100, this next paycheck, then you could just like put, that 30-something percent. I don't know. I mean, it's up to, I'll let, like, I guess, like, get the democratic, process with that one and figure out what Tyler wants to figure out with that. But, because either way, I don't really care, Because maybe Tyler would say, I don't give a fuck, I'll sleep on the floor. Maybe he'll be okay with it. But, I mean, I'm fine with it, honestly, because what? It's like, 3 nights, 2 nights? Oh, that's also right, too. There's also, like, the multiple nights. So we have to calculate that, too. Yeah, okay. Well, he doesn't want IR. Oh, okay. It's 2 nights? 2 nights? Okay. All right. I kind of thought it was a little longer for some reason, but all right, not too bad. So all in all, I probably let's say if it's 2 nights and we get out the next morning, and depending on when our flight leaves, we could probably still chill a little bit. Maybe find a spot we could pregame at the before we go to the airport or something. I'll have to at least double check the flight stuff too, at least for departure once we leave, just to see what we could plan out, for that day too. Luckily, it's still, some time, so we'll figure out some shit on that one. Nah, too early. Flight home is 11 a.m. Damn, unless we pulled an all-nighter, that ain't happening. Well, I know this much. I definitely want to check out some, maybe like, get breakfast somewhere. Maybe, yeah, like, maybe we would check out at like 7, maybe go get some breakfast on the way to the airport, Though we couldn't be there long at most, so we'd have to like, make sure it's somewhere that's not busy at the moment. And then just, whoa, wait, we could get something at the airport. Just show up at the airport at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and then we just get something at the airport. It is going to be more spendy there, though, unfortunately. But, I mean, they got breakfast. There's going to be shit there, Oh, you know what? I need to think about fucking sales taxes, too. Because it's going to be sales taxes on top of it. Fuck me. That's the thing. I always forget about sales taxes because, like, Oregon and, like, 1 or 2 other states are the ones that don't have sales taxes. And I always forget that, and that fucks me a lot when it comes to buying shit sometimes out of state. I think Montana is the other state that doesn't have sales taxes. Yes, like I think it's like New Jersey, Montana, and Oregon. I think it's those 3 states. There might be like one more state that I might be thinking of, but I'm pretty sure it's those 3 states. We have cheap tickets, so make sure you have a backpack to use that isn't too large. Tickets are under seat bag only. We can't use the bins. Oh, really? Damn. Okay. Well, my hiking backpack that I've been taking around lately, I have a sleeping bag that could fit in there. And then I can easily just kind of shove like, an extra pair of underwear and then like maybe, I think I'll be okay with like just 1 pair of pants and then maybe just a spare shirt. Because I'll probably buy 2 tourist shirts, 1 for Iron Maiden and 1 for The Who. Just to use the backpack for the powder. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna use my little hiking backpack that I use. We also will have hours between arrival and hotel checks, so try to pack light. Well, I mean, like I said, I'm not really bringing much. I'm just gonna bring a couple clothes and stuff like that. In my sleeping bag, and that's pretty much about it. Just like a few sets of clothes. And also, they can't fucking get at you for wearing multiple layers, by the way. That's a trick. You might be sweaty as balls when you're on the plane and shit like that, to be fair, to be honest, depending on where you're going. But that is honestly a trick. If you want to pack a few extra clothes, wear like 2 or 3 shirts, wear your jacket and shit, wear like 3 shorts or something. That's a trick. And some people, when it comes to like, make sure they can kind of pack light on their bag, that's a way to do it. Yeah, it's a trick. I have a good bag. There's that no one ever gives me issues with, and it fits under the seat. Yeah, and I know that bag will definitely fit under the seat. I just know this much. When we get to a hotel, we'll want to ask about spare pillows. Maybe a spare blanket, too. The bag I took to Europe, not even Ryanair, stingy assholes gave me problems. Oh my god, you flew Ryanair? Oh my god, my condolences to European Spirit Airlines, dude. How was the landing? How was the Ryanair landing? Was it bumpy as shit? Was it basically... Was it basically that? While I was hella hungover? Oh my god, you were hungover too. Oh, my condolences. Dude, condolences. Hats off, dude. At least I didn't notice anything. That's shocking, because I'm not kidding. For aviation nerds and people like me, like, whether as enthusiasts or people in the industry, Ryanair is known for having pretty much like the European version of Spirit Airlines energy when it comes to landing. They literally will land like hard as fuck. They're like, it's not like a smooth touchdown. They fucking just like, that bitch's gonna plant. Like, just like, these planes can handle the stress. It's like, that's kind of how they are about it. Boarding took forever, though. They seem slow, but it might have just been the hangover. That might have been you being hungover and time being kind of slowed and grogginess and shit like that. Though, to be fair, I've had some issues like that before in the past. I mean, dude, my trip back home from Vegas when I went to Texas, like in that little layover, the pilot called in and they had to get a backup pilot who also was late. And then they had us boarded. And once they, while they were on the phone trying to get another pilot, I think literally right while they were calling the guy, they had us leave the plane. Literally 5 minutes later, he was there. And we all had to go back on the plane. So we all left the plane, sat around for like 5 minutes, and then they're like, okay, you all could go back on. We'll make it rapid, quick. We already pretty much had your tickets, so just line up and just kind of, we'll do a quick scan, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, no. You literally had us walk out and just like stretch ourselves for 5 minutes, just basically to sit back down, even though we were only in the plane for like 20 minutes at most. It's like, oh my God, we could have just stayed in the fucking thing and they could have just flown us home. I hate flying. Dude, I used to love flying, bro. When I was growing up, I used to go to like Montana and Texas like once, as a kid, and go to other places like in California, Florida once. And dude, back in the day, it was actually fucking fun. Maybe there's some nostalgia bullshit because I was a kid or whatever. Didn't have to deal with as much bullshit. But dude, even as an adult, like an early adult, like, 18, 19, 20, 21, shit like that, even when last time I flew over to Montana and shit, like, that was actually, pretty pleasant. It's like, dude, it's like ever since post-fucking COVID, shit's been fucked, bro. Like, ever since 2020, dude, airlines and shit have, like, been fucked, bro. Like, dude, I've been noticing that. At least that's how I feel. Like, I mean, ever since I've been flying since then, it's been a fucking nightmare, honestly, in some way, shape, or form. Once you're in a plane, you're sitting down, you're going, it's fine, but and that's honestly it. It's everything else leading up and then afterwards that's the problem. Once you're actually in the plane and you're in the air, taxiing off and all that shit, it's honestly all fine. But it's everything else. And so I always feel like a sense of like, kind of heartbeat kind of tense. Not like, oh shit, I'm kind of shaky, nervous, but just like, a little back of your mind of like what ifs, start hitting your head. Oh, what if, TSA is super long and I get stopped and they have to extra check me and blah, blah, blah. Or what if, this, what if that, blah, blah. Like suddenly that shit starts hitting your mind as you're leading up. But once you're actually like there waiting to go, then some other shit might happen. Oh, what if, the pod call down and stuff, which has happened, for me. It's like, it's like, but once you're in the plane and you see that plane start to move backwards and, you're taking off, away from the tarmac, you're like, oh, it's like the relief. Then you can just kind of relax. And if you get a window seat, then you can just kind of look out the window, just stare at Earth and bask in its wonders and look at everyone that is little peon ants. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, when it comes to going to Minneapolis, let's just fucking hope that it's smooth. Let's just hope it's smooth as fuck. And honestly, if we play our, cards right, I think it'll be all right. I think it'll be fine. Unless some shit happens where it's like, oh, the pod called out. Oh, weather is making it so we're delayed by an hour. I don't know, man. Unless like some shit happens, bro. And I only bring backpack SimFly TSA to avoid check-in line. Yeah. I mean, well, for me, there's been times where I've had to bring a full-on suitcase and shit just because, I mean, it just depends on the trip. I mean, for a trip like what we're doing, a backpack is totally fine. I mean, honestly, for me, I probably would barely, have like a, backpack. I'd have like maybe like one of those like, bags, like a backpack that is like, it's like a super fanny pack or it's like a one strap backpack. I'd say for like a 2-night, 3-day trip, to fucking Minneapolis, something like that would be fine. I don't know what Minneapolis security looks like, but security of the airport is really nice, though. Right on. Yeah, I mean, late night at any airport is actually kind of chill. Dude, honestly, what's really nice was Las Vegas in the middle of the night. Dude, honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. When I was having my last layover in Las Vegas from Texas to Portland, dude, it was honestly kind of a trip because I was like, well, I'll gamble a little bit. Did that for 2 hours or something like that. One little something, lost a little something, whatever. And I was like, oh, okay, well, let me just kind of wander around a little bit. Went to a vending machine, got a little soda, and they got like little light rails that go to different terminals. So I was like, all right, I'll take some of these and just explore some of it because I know they have the little McCarran museum that's over there. It's outside of TSA, but it's in the middle of the night. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll just walk out of TSA and I'll just streamline myself right back in, really quick. And it should be no problem. Which it wasn't. So really, I didn't like Las Vegas Airport at all. Really? It was in the middle of the night for me. What time of day was it for you? Because both times for me, it was late at night. And legit, it was nice. Like, you have some late night people there kind of chilling a little bit, but it didn't really have enough food options for the number of people there. So super long lines. You are kind of right. The first time I had a layover, the first thing I wanted was some food. And it was around like 10. So there's still things open, but oh my God, bro. You are so fucking right. I was waiting forever just to get like a nice little just a simple little burger. Super early, like 6 a.m. Really? That makes sense because when I was waiting for my flight the last time on my way back, dude, that airport got busy from like, from 5 a.m. when I went to my terminal just to make sure I was just there, and all that shit, like, and taking a little nap, just kind of chilling, charging my stuff, like. That in that last hour, when the first flights were starting ready to go, dude, that airport got packed so fucking quick. Like, I was actually kind of surprised. So I like kind of looked up, in the last 30 minutes, when I was kind of hearing the terminal numbers being like, blah, 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 departing, whatever the fuck. I was like, oh, there's like triple the people in here. Whoa. I was like, oh shit. YLU was probably the worst airport I've been to. That place sucks. YLU? Which airport is that? I don't recognize the sign for it. You would think an airport enthusiast or like a plane airline like kind of like aircraft guy like me would know that, but I don't know every tiny little one. We overcrowded and laughable food options. Montreal. Oh, Montreal? They're Canada. You would think they would have at least, you know, better option. What the fuck? They're Canada, damn it. Wow, that's lame. I will say this at least about Keflavik International. Once you leave their security and shit, you know, on your way back to the airport, they literally, like, or on your way, you know, to the terminals, one of the first shops is a liquor store. I'm not kidding. They literally just have, like, you know, straight up fucking, like, little island stands, you know, just full of, like, little one-shotters. When I came back from Iceland, when we had, like, a whole big, you know, hangout party and shit, you know, whatever, I know Logan was here for it. Like, that's where I got a lot of that last little bit of alcohol. Like, we were like, well, let's bring some of this local stuff back home, you know, so we bought a bunch of it on our way out, you know, so that's how we were able to get it through because, you know, it was after security, and I think a lot of it's just because they have different laws there, because as far as I'm aware, unless like a bar or pub or some shit, I don't think you can, unless it's like already stored, you know what I mean? But like this shit was just like, you could just buy it and then like have it in your pocket or something. Or have a bag and just have it in a bag. I mean, you know, it's just so it was kind of like a whoa moment for me. I was like, what? Because maybe I just have never paid attention to it before, but I've just never noticed that before. At least, you know, since I've been flying, you know, since then, I at least haven't noticed that overtly. But then again, I don't think there's ever been an overt liquor store in an airport. It's just, it's actually pretty legitimately based. But then again, Europeans can honestly handle their alcohol and shit. You know, they're not like, you know, us where we might act like a bunch of psychotic Karens. So that probably could be it. That's probably physically smaller than PDX. What, Keflavik International? Yeah. Because Keflavik is a small town and it's not the capital of Iceland. It just happened, it's just that the land that is around Keflavik is like, one, the least seismic, two, the most flat as well, and just the easiest to work with a little bit. And the regional airport in Reykjavik used to be an old World War II British outpost. So the airport used to be pretty much like where a lot of aircraft would send cargo missions, recon missions, shit like that. You know, it was basically like a little recon post for the British military during World War II. So they basically have just kept the airport relatively mostly the same, at least in, you know, layout, you know, and have, you know, just made it a regional airport instead. So what a lot of people do usually is that they'll come in for Keflavik. That's how internationally, you know, you get there. And then sometimes if people want to like visit other, you know, towns or some shit, they'll take the regional airport at Reykjavik and then take a little charter plane either to Akureyri or Hofen. I think there's like a few other places you can go to as well. And I think you can even technically, I think, you know, take that to Greenland and a few other places if you wanted. I'm not too sure about that because we never took any of it. But if we were like, you know, staying in Iceland for like a month or some shit, I'd say, you know, let's take a little charter plane and take that to fucking, like, you know, the other side of Iceland or something, dude. Because I'd love to check out like Hofen or Akureyri. Akureyri kind of looks like Astoria if it was like nuzzled in like, you know, Alaska somewhere instead. Like, honestly, it looks like a very nice little homey little town, honestly. Reykjavik is like Portland if it was nuzzled in a fjord, and way, 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 way tinier. Like, I mean, it's because there's like a charm about Reykjavik that is very like weirdly Portlandian almost. or I guess maybe I guess it's honestly the other way around. I mean, if anything, because I think that charm is the European nature of things. But I mean, I think it's because Portland has kind of like a pseudo s kind of European charm because there is a little bit of a mix of like European elements, of government versus way more so versus other municipalities and shit. So I mean, I think it's probably the other way around, but I do kind of find it interesting that there was just like that charm that almost felt recognizable, but at the same time, just so new. One thing I noticed that they had a lot of like, Indian, Mediterranean, Bangladeshi, fucking all sorts of different, foreign cuisine restaurants and shit. And honestly, the only reason why I didn't go to any of them because I was thinking in my head like I live in Portland where there's like that and then some, and then like double that. You know what I mean? So it's like I could just get that at home. I do feel like it would probably be different there, but I'm there for Iceland, right? Like, so I kind of want to try what's going on there for what their natural stuff, their cuisines are and shit. Which I'm really glad I did, but I think the next time, I ever go down there, which hopefully, can be pretty soon, I would definitely want to go to one of those restaurants too. But at the same time, I definitely, especially with the boys, if I also get a chance to go with the boys, like I'm taking them to some of these places I've been to. Dude, there's a steakhouse. It's a little bougie, but dude, quality. That's why I had a horse sirloin and a horse steak, and bro, honestly, you wouldn't think, but horse tastes pretty legitimately really good. It's almost got like a texture and quality of like, beef sirloin, but like the flavor of like bison / like lamb almost. But it also just melts like butter. Like it's a buttery meat. Like it will just straight as you're chewing it, like it just melts. And it's so tender, delicious, dude. It really is like legitimately amazing. Yeah, my mom was sitting right next to me when I was eating that, watching me go, this is so good. I even offered a tiny little bite to my dad, and even he agreed it was amazing. And I looked at my mom and was like, "You want a little bite?" And she looked at me like I like blasphemed like Jesus and God right through their face in front of her or some shit. She just had like this look of like, no, dude. Like, what is wrong? And she looked at me like, what is wrong with you, you blaspheming demon? Like, she was like, what the fuck, bro? She looked at me like she was utterly disgusted with my essence and every atomic particle of my being. I'm not even kidding. I'm being a little hyperbolic, but she just looked at me like, cause I mean, she was, she's a farming girl and she's been raised on a ranch and with horses and done horseback riding, taking care of them, all that shit. So, which I get it, but I mean, I would be the same way, I guess, but hey, I love horses. I love to do all that shit, but hey, at the same time, they taste damn good and I'd eat one. If I had one that was kind of about to go of old age, I'd be like, well, time to put her down, but someone do the honors, I guess, because I ain't doing that. You know what I mean? But that's if it was like a workhorse or if I didn't really care as much. But if I just had like some horse I just want to have just for the hell of it, like, I mean, I'd never want to do that, but it's like if Zukov was about to pass of old age. I'm like, all right, well, get the crock pot going. About to make some dog broth. It's like, I mean, be a little fucked, honestly. You know what I mean? It'd be a little fucked if you think about it. I couldn't do that for like a personal pet like that. Although I would have like, some animals for something like that, though. If I ever had like, an ability to have a ranch, like I definitely have like maybe some goats and, some chickens and shit, and have like some of them be like, all right, I'm having these ones right here for food and shit, and all that stuff. And I'm having these ones just kind of keep around. Unless they end up being an asshole, then fuck them, then I'm going to kill them and cook them. I have an animal-related story, too, about a dream I had the other night. Ooh, do tell. I'll shoot it. I mean, look, I will admit, it's kind of morbid is to be like, well, about to make, an animal in the crock pot. It's like, I mean, honestly, at least like for me, like, when it comes down to it, as long as it's done ethically, and done, like, as far as I'm concerned, correctly, and also to at least maybe to a slightly lesser extent, at least, done with like, giving respect back to kind of nature with it. Also, kind of how like the natives here in America did it, like where, if they were hunting bison, like, the plains natives, like Lakota Sioux or some shit, like, when they're hunting some bison, they didn't just like get the meat and leave everything else. Like they would use the hides, for their teepees and for their homes and shit, and for for pelts, clothes, armor too, to a lesser extent. Because I mean, these people don't really think about it, but they did have like elements of armor and shit. Actually, put a pin on that. There's actually a really cool thing and a fact about that. But like, they'll have some shit like that, and and if anything, also once horses were introduced, later in their history and shit, once the Spaniards brought a lot of horses over, they even took advantage of a lot of those bison pelts to use this, basically the wolf in sheep's clothing tactic, right? Like they would use the bison pelts to kind of like, have the horse, slowly but surely kind of walk up to the rest of the herd, and and then they can just kind of like boop, pop out, boom, take an arrow and get a bison and sneak up on them way better, in a lot of ways than, just hoping that you can get, snucking around the grass enough to where you can like get close to them, like very ingenious and fucking, when it came to like, taking what they could. And also when it came to a lot of their guts and stuff, like their stomachs, those are bags, pouches, water containers, water storage, it's like, I mean, they'd use anything and everything they could for bones, tools, weapons, structures to kind of help build different things, do all sorts of shit. Whatever they couldn't use, they just like, let go back to the soil. Ram off a cliff. Well, on Elk Rock Island, the history, or at least the folklore around that, is that the indigenous tribes and peoples around here in the Willamette Valley, at least in this area, would hunt elk by, running them off the sides of the cliffs on the west side of the Willamette. And a lot of them would usually break their ankles and legs, so they would like, struggle to kind of swim back onto what is now known as Elk Island. And they would, on the other side, the tribes people would be kind of waiting there and just chilling, and then, hunt them down, and then, do pretty much do the same process. Take what they could and take what they wanted and what they needed, and gave the rest back to the land, basically, kind of thing. I mean, it was just a strategy, and of how to get food, and it was the easy way to do it. Like split a herd away, or split like the herd enough to where you get like a small pocket of them, to run off, to where you need to go, and then you just like eventually cordon them right up, next to like the cliff, and eventually they're gonna have no option but to just like step back and just fall off. It's a little brutal, but hey, it was a tactic. It saves you arrows, saves you some spears. In my dream, there's a little girl with a flying pet cockroach. That's terrifying, but badass at the same time. And something happened where I accidentally hit it or something, and it died, and she was so sad. It got me thinking when I woke up. But a cockroach was just unalived if I thought. Well, I mean, they are vital to the ecosystem and stuff in a lot of ways, but you don't want them in your house, so you know what? Keep on aliving them. The same day I saw a cockroach in her room. Do you know what I did? You killed it without thought. Not because they're environmentally conscious, just as they're inherent to living in old times, use everything you can. Well, yeah. I mean, it wasn't inherently due to an environmentally conscious thing. I think a lot of that came later when the white man, the white man came and brought their black oil, the black snake. When all their that, when I think a lot of that came in with that shit because they saw how humanity really can be destructive, and I think they kind of realized like, if we had these capabilities, would we be this way? And I think, to a certain extent, there was kind of a sense of reflection about that. And that's, I think, where it came from over time. Because, yeah, back in the day, when you're just like, tribes people and nomadic peoples and stuff. And the worst thing, they have to really deal with is maybe, competing with other tribes and fighting them off and shit like that or whatever at worst. And at best, just kind of hanging with them and chilling, trading, finding different resources and nomadically going from different places and shit. Prior to that, it was steam and coal. Well, yeah, I mean, you know what I mean. Yeah, like with steam and coal, the steam engines and mass industrialization, and also mass lumber, just utter lack of, care of the forests and just cutting everything down, shit like that. I mean, there was a lot of different factors of broadly just industrialization that played a major role to where I think over time, a lot of Native peoples, because they were also being oppressed by that, kind of realized like, yeah, we, fucking, are kind of a part of nature, and these white men over here don't care about that. And they just see us as a part of that, and they don't give a fuck about our own humanity despite that. I think they kind of, I think it was just kind of a thing that eventually came on over time. And honestly, they figured it out way quicker than I think a lot of people did. I think that's why, when it came to a lot of their older, traditions and their older ideas and stuff, granted, it's just what they had to do to get by kind of shit. I mean, I think they realized, like, there was actually, like, some humility and, like, some, like, oh, wow, we're actually kind of, like, better about treating Earth and our own planet and respecting the land and not having to grow infinitely because we keep destroying everything around us. They kind of saw the writing on the wall almost, and that honestly, especially when it comes to a lot of environmentalist groups, that's why they see a lot of Native people, in those movements and shit more often than not. And more often than not, when it comes to indigenous, sovereign nation like liberation and shit like that, and environmentalism, usually in a lot of ways, not all the time, but in a lot of ways, they tend to kind of go hand in hand. I mean, like, no dapple. Like, I mean, there's a lot of environmentalists and indigenous advocates and indigenous peoples, all sorts of people that came together, to say, fuck that shit, right? It's like, I mean, it was a pretty huge movement. And I think, like, I think it was, like, literally the largest protest of indigenous peoples, in American history, where even, like, historically, warring tribes that didn't like each other came together and put differences aside. If anything, have actually bonded and developed friendships over it. It's like, it was honestly in a lot of ways, like a very, really awesome, like kind of weirdly kind of like spiritual movement in a sense in that way. Because there was like a lot of people that like came together with that shit. I mean, despite, all, what, unfortunately failed from it, because, hey, the pipeline still went through. Speaking of the press scumfucks, did you see that Kevin O'Leary article I sent you? Oh my God, dude. Hey, if you got no money, just start a Fortune 500 company out in India. Oh my God, bro, dude. I saw that shit. I honestly was almost like questioning if it was an Onion article that was just like republished by, MSN or whatever the fuck. Bruh. Dude, that was honest. I mean, I forgot like, every little thing, but that one stuck out to me. It's like, yeah, just start a company in India. Even as a domestic small business owner, you should think about foreign, economies, and you should exploit that shit as a white, small business owner, and just take a few, Indians and like make them, be paid like 2 pennies a day or some shit. And there you go, bada bing, bada boom, you win a lot of money. Dude, that rich elite piece of parasitical scum is so out of touch. It'd make your head spin, bro. Like, dude, I've always hated Kevin O'Leary. Even before I was like super politically active, about shit. When Shark Tank was kind of a thing, like, because I used to watch it with my mom and shit. She still watches it, but like, I mean, when I used to with her a little bit, I'd be like, I never liked him. He's kind of a dick. But now that I see why, because he's just a ruthless cutthroat. Like, I want all my money, greed. I must exploit everyone, and anyone who disagrees and complains about it just wants to be entitled. He's just such an evil piece of shit, dude. The real things I could say about a fucking worm, like, literal, like, thumb from Spy Kids looking ass piece of fucking shit, like, bro, I'd get... He looks like he'd be lacking for he is an evil wizard. Yeah, like one of the little thumb minions from Spy Kids, bro. I dare him to work at like a recycling plant with no money for like 1 year and be paid as an undocumented worker would be paid. Not even as an American citizen would be paid. Like he should go to like, you know, the state that has the worst minimum wage, that has like some recycling plant or some shit. It'd be some fuck that has to like work the line, picking glass, fucking other shit, and all this other stuff. You know, out of the plastics or whatever the fuck. You know, in the recycling plant and shit. But be paid, you know, like some undocumented worker's wage or some shit for a full year. And then we can see how he can start a nice Fortune 500 company in India and blah, 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 and work his way from the top. Fucking out of touch, worthless cocksucking piece of shit. And you wonder why people like me have such a fucking ire and animosity towards billionaires. My fucking rations are depleted. I wasn't even realizing this song was playing in the background. I also found out this is also karaoke. Oh, dude, I should sing this for karaoke, though. I'll be real, I didn't even read that far into the article. I just saw the headline, I was curious. Kevin, you became homeless, no money. How much you get in your wealth? I would, of course. I would find a Fortune 500 company. Of course, it's so simple. And I would do it in India, too. Like, he specified that. That's why I'm like, what the fuck? And also, like, he was, like, talking about, like, you know, oh, I'll get into, like, the healthy food business and invest in stocks and shit, you know, related to healthy food industry. Because, you know, Americans are living longer than ever. And obviously, you know, it's just like, you know, thus, people are going to care more about that and care more about their health. So, thus, you know, you should invest into that. And then, literally, the last little bit of the article is Kevin literally saying, quote, I love this space. It's like, yeah, you love it because you're an exploitative leech. And you want to... Man, if only I could honestly just read it out loud, the full article to you, dude. Because holy shit, man. Low-key, why'd you remind me of it now? Because I'm just pissed and I want to say so many things about this worthless little parasite that, oh my god, I just can't right now. I mean, I don't even want to play around with it, but I have a fake, non-functional prop device that literally looks like a grenade, but literally isn't, just for YouTube's sake. But I don't even want to bring it out because I feel like I would get fucked immediately. So, I mean, you know, let's just say it involves... I see, man, I want to have it there just to be like, let's say it involves something like this. In his, like, bougie-ass fucking, you know, Lamborghini or fucking, you know, like, Ghost, dude. Like, you know, hopping in the fucking, you know, like, Rolls-Royce, you know, or some shit, dude. Kevin, would you be able to get to India since you would be able to have no money? Remember, it says something like, oh, it'd be sucking a lot of dicks to get there. I'd be like, all right, gotta respect. Well, no. He's just saying, you know, as a domestic citizen, you should just start a company out there as, like, a CEO, you know, that is hiring people overseas while they're, you know, in their country. Which I don't even know, like, how in the fuck would you be able to do that unless you had a loan to rent out some building or some property to where they can fucking go to and have at least someone down there as an associate to like, I mean, it's oh my god, like the complexities that goes into even, like, let's say, you know, I did, you know, want to start a business or some shit, right? You know, got a loan, you know, you know, let's just say, you know, question mark, I got everything ready to go to start a business and got the loan, all that shit, went to the bank, blah, blah, blah. Like, I mean, you know, and let's say, yeah, let's like, you know, let's start a business and have it set up in India or some shit. Like, I mean, how, like, the complexities of that would be, like, I would have to at least travel there or something at least once. You know, to maybe check out an office property, to at least lend lease, you know, the, you know, business or where it's set up. I would have to do so much fucking shit that would cost a lot of fucking money that honestly, you know, most of the business would go into that shit more than the business startup itself. And also, what in the fuck are you doing that for? Like, what would you be using that business for? Like what? Like, you know, making shirts or something? Maybe hiring, you know, like contracting, you know, like a clothing company or something that manufactures clothes or something. Like, what's the nuances of what we're doing here? You know what I mean? It can't just be like, oh, you just started up or something. It's like, because he basically made it seem as easy as that. And no, it isn't. Because when you start thinking about it, then it's like, wait, how do I actually do that? And once you honestly start thinking about it, it gets more and more complex as you start thinking about it. It shows how out of touch that rich elite billionaire is. Because no motherfucker like me has got the smarts or, the hustle or the fucking money to even conceptualize anything like that. Even if it does start up and fail. Let's say, I did have the ability to start it, and you know what, after a year or two, it flops. It's like, I mean, even for someone in my position, I want to be able to do that shit. It's just beyond absurd. I have better luck starting a fucking, business, making art and shit, which honestly is legitimately a possibility, at least. That, at least, is a genuine possibility. Like, when it comes to, like, music production or, or at least getting tied into a music production company or something like that, making music, making my band a business, if, I ever start one or something. Like, at least that is an actual opportunity. You know what it is? People like Kevin just aren't able to conceptualize starting with nothing because they never, ever started with nothing. Their parents and their parents' parents, more often than not, started with fuck you money because, they hustled their way to the top, which usually they never really did. They were just exploitive bastards who were cutthroat and would fucking stab people in the back to maximize their own fucking gain. And surprise, one of his parents was a business owner and investor. Also, he's a filthy fucking Canadian. Fucking Canuck. God damn it, of course. And also, like, yeah, I mean, and it proves my point. He had a silver spoon in his mouth, so he never can able conceptualize the idea of starting with nothing because he never was able to be born with nothing. Not all of them were born with a giant silver spoon in their mouth. Not all. Okay, look, asterisk. Not every single millionaire or billionaire or rich person was, born with a silver spoon in the mouth. Asterisk. But when it comes to more often than not these days, that tends to be kind of the truth than the false, fact or whatever, Even Jeffy B was not raised in a rich family. Look, I'll grant Jeff Bezos, he wasn't exactly, his family was actually a little blue collar, in a sense. But, I mean, look where he is now. I mean, because when it comes to a lot of these sub-billionaires, and honestly, this is where Jeffy B, falls into. He's one of those people that lost touch of that blue-collar nature, became, the fucking, demon that fucking exploited his parents, at one point. Being a blue-collar, family and shit. Trying to do their thing. Or even like a small-time white-collar family, doing some small business shit. All right? I don't know every tiny little detail about his parents, but yeah, for him, he's, I guess, technically an exception to the rule, but a lot of the reason why I thank God, because he lost touch of that shit. And there are a lot of people that, do kind of get raised in some element of a blue-collar life struggle kind of thing, but then just straight up lose touch of it and, forgot what that was because, it's just childhood stuff or something or whatever, right? Like, I mean, there's a lot of people that, sometimes even just are comfortable enough in a kind of middle class that, probably grew up struggling, but then forget how much they struggled. And they're like, oh, well, I pulled myself by my bootstraps. Why didn't you? That's where that mentality comes from. Because they lost touch of that fucking struggle and realized, well, if I struggled, maybe that's why other people are struggling because, that shit's still going on. The same struggles I am going through, are, people are still going through that to some way, shape, or form in their own experiences. They've lost touch of that. A lot of tech millions just lucked out, right place, right time. Well, I'll say this much, at least when it comes to Musk, can't say that about him. But at least for a lot of all these other ones, sure. Because, I mean, most of these, Silicon Valley tech companies, most of them are just startup companies. I mean, shit, even Facebook was literally just some college social media forum before it became a full social media platform. It was basically just a way for, like, a bunch of college kids to just, like, have a little social media forum for all of them to hang out, and it just kind of blew up from there. I mean, but then again, Zuckerberg, at least, And there's a little questionability about that, struggle to bring it up because he kind of stole it from all the other people that helped bring it up in the first place with him. So he's kind of a little shitbag even when it came to, getting out of the grind, himself, so to speak, as a, kind of a college tech nerd. Because he stabbed all of his old buddies in the back a little bit. And even in the movie, like this, about him and shit, kind of, implied that a little bit that, yeah, he kind of stabbed them all in the back and kind of fucked them over and burned bridges just so he can be basically the main guy to own it. Now it's meta, and now he has like this whole social media empire, basically. So, I mean, even for him, there's a technicality to it, but, he was just basically like a little IT tech nerd college kid, before then. So, I mean, there's, some potential merit for him as well, but like I said, it's because they lost touch to it. I mean, frankly, Zuckerberg, honestly, I think he was an android from birth, honestly, anyway, so I think he's always been this robotic, calculative, I shall maximize potential for thyself. For the Zuckbot 9000. Like, I think he's always been like that, honestly. So, I mean, I think Zuckerbot, 9000 over there is a little exception to the rule regardless, but whatever. Jobs in it was, a couple of the dorks Cali geeking out in the garage. Yeah. Oh, dude, Jobs, look, I think honestly, like, a lot of his fault was just because he was kind of like the crazy, like, uncle who was into like herbal remedy weird shit. Like if he was alive today, 1,000% guarantee you Jobs would be an anti-vaxxer. 1,000% guarantee you, because when he had cancer, he refused to do regular cancer treatments, and they even say in hindsight, yeah, he would have survived if he just did regular cancer treatments, but he refused to do it. So he was like one of those like weird like Chinese herbal remedy fucking like chakra crystal healing fucking Facebook mom herbal astrology group wino mom fucking guys. Like he was just one of those dudes, and it like just kind of weirdly eschewed medical science to a certain extent. So he was he was geeking out in his garage and hustled a lot, but honestly a lot of his faults, at least in my opinion, were just the fact he was kind of a little bit of a nut. A little bit. A little bit of a medical nut, I should at least say. I mean, honestly, the one thing I kind of have like a weird melancholy feeling about is like Bill Gates. Honestly, just because like that dude, like he recently came out and be like, yeah, I'd be fine with a progressive tax system. Like, I'd still be a billionaire even though I'd be making billions less and blah, 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 and all this sort of shit. And it's like, well, why don't you just lobby it then? You got fuck you money, use some of your super PAC lobbies or invest in some of these super PACs to fucking push that shit or something. Like, why don't you then, motherfucker? That's like, if you're saying this shit, then flex your fucking money and do something with it. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you're a billionaire, yeah, a rich fuck. And also one of these dudes, you're saying more nice that like kind of came from the grind a little bit. And I think because he's also a little bit of an autistic guy, and I am too, I think there's like a little bit of a stuck in the ways kind of mentality that I certainly can attribute to. And if I think, some, others, who might be at least, some, element on the autistic spectrum might, agree with, like, where I think he's always just have like, he's always had like a certain principle about things. It's just been stuck in that way, right? And then, from there, it's just like, I think he's just been like kind of too comfy in one way where, he pretty much, like got procrastinative, I think, or something, or just procrastinative and too comfy with like, his, wealth and stuff. And while I think he, it's like, well, I'll be fine with progressive tax system and stuff and this and that, like, kind of stuck in his ways about like how he kind of feels about certain things. He just doesn't want to do anything about it. He's like, I'm comfortable, I'll just do my thing. I mean, it's just like, so for me, I'm just like, well, why don't you do something then? I mean, if you're advocating it, then, and it would benefit, everybody, then why just sit in your fucking comfort when you will still be sitting in the same exact comfort if you just lobbied that shit. Or you worked about that piece of shit. I missed something. Like, which piece of shit? I mean, I'm not being, like, worked up, but I'm just kind of curious about which one we're talking about. What, Jobs? Gates? Who are we talking about? I bet someone could show you a real-life unicorn before there's any refutable proof Kevin O'Leary has done on-stage work, and that didn't involve... fucking someone over, dude, for real. Oh, O'Leary? Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, because it's true. Because he sucks, and also it's true. I'm coming with the bear. If you honestly literally had a black bear, like some RFK shit, you showed up with a black bear, I'm not even gonna lie. If it's alive, I'll be like, bro, we have a bear, cool. Let me feed it some stuff. I got some food I can feed it. Because if it's a black bears are actually kind of skittish and can be kind of chill. So, I mean, black bears, you don't really gotta worry about them because they're honestly probably more scared of you than you are of it. But any other type of bear, you might want to fuck away from it. Why him in particular? Because he's a cutthroat, evil, rich, demonic parasite and is open and like, yes, please, suffer, workers. I mean, he rubs it in. He's like, I'm a billionaire now, but here, let me cut you and exploit you, and then just rub some lemon juice and some salt to that wound. Oh, here, let me get some rust in there so you can get some gangrene and tetanus. Yes, I'm a billionaire. That's literally in a nutshell. I can hear Logan right now. That means he's about to pop in, and I'm probably not, unfortunately, going to be able to read the chat. I'm just going to clarify that immediately. Zukov! I literally, yeah, that's him. I might have to take an O'Leary in a sec, Ignar.
Come on. Oh, you don't want to come over here. He's going to eat you. I eat you, bro. The bear eats you.
All right, get your out of here. Get out, grandma. Oh, I see why you're saying the bear, because you got that tropical bear IPA thing.
Yep.
L is for Logan that comes in too. I'm trying to think of like some of the other things here. L's for Logan to kind of burst in the gates. O is for oh my God. G is for G. Why you gotta do that? And A is for oh shit. And N is for no, you can't be busting in now. I don't know. Sounds like a specific character on South Park, but I don't know which one. It drives me crazy. Wait, where did he go? Did he just run off? Oh, well, I'm going to have to let him know that. Black person must still chill. Oh, yeah. You know what's funny? I kind of find it, amusing that Oregon Zoo has black bears. And honestly, I don't even get it because, like, well, I kind of do, but whatever, I'm looking at them, I'm just like, they literally just look like stoners, little stoner bros, because they'll like wander around and then it'll just kind of like sit and then just kind of plop there and just kind of like chill. It's like, I'm just gonna be a fat fuck right here. What's up, guys? I'm just gonna groom myself real quick.
Your dad just walked out and was like, stop. I feel like he would be like, why are you pressing on my tree?
Oh, well, dude, he's done it. I've done it. I mean, I don't think he cares that much. It just recently rained too, so whatever. Oh, wait. He's still over there? Wait, what? He's gone again. Oh, hi, Pup. Oh, those ears. Some bears look like humans in bear costumes doing a horrible acting job. They really do. And they're also kind of weirdly flat when they stand up. They kind of have like this weird flat but wide body. And they're also about as lazy as a black bear, too. They're kind of stoner bros in their own right. And look, you want to know a hot take? panda bears. I'm sorry, but those sad bastards, like their whole way that they fuck and breed and have babies is so like antithetical to like survivability of a species. So I'm just like, why do we even let them be alive? Like they're cute, but frankly, they're fucking
like Buddhist and like in meditation mode. They're the meditation bear.
But they're also like kind of fucking
and slothful and shit.
What, a panda?
Yeah, they'd be like.
But they're also dumb as fuck, dude. They will literally after a mama panda bear will give birth. Sometimes like in Chinese zoos, they will literally the rare times that they ever give birth, they will literally have to take the little baby panda bears and get them the fuck out of there. They're tiny little things. Yeah, they'll just be like, oh, what's that? Nom nom.
What a dumb bitch.
I know, yeah, dude. No, like panda bears are panda bears when it comes to survivability is just retarded.
You stupid bitch. I literally said, get out my way.
Well, he did, but then he caused, chaos and shit. Huh?
No, he did too late, and shit was already falling, and then he made it fall more. Fucking dumbass.
We're out of human texture for this, man. Just put a bear texture over it. That will look really weird. I don't care. Remember the platypus? Yes, exactly. We got a crow to meet, so send it down. That will be the sun bear.
So how far are you overdrawn?
Last time I checked it was about 15.
If I give you 20, it will fix the problem?
Well, I'll get paid tomorrow anyway, so, I mean...
It's not going to be a problem then?
Oh, I was saying earlier on stream it wasn't really a big deal. I'm just kind of waiting it out until I get paid.
Oh,
so... I mean, if you just want to,
You want $20? You pay me back later so you're not broke tonight?
I mean, that works because it's not like
feels better than being broke, right?
I suppose because honestly, it's not like we're not gonna see each other for weeks on end or whatever.
$20, every week.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm getting paid tomorrow. Did I just drop something?
I had a really hardcore discussion with a so-called atheist who's not. He's just anti-Christian, I think.
Well,
really interesting. We started talking about all the spiritual animism and shit. And I was like, I don't think you're really atheist, dude. I think you're just anti religion, which isn't spiritual. Spirituality and religion are not the same thing, my friend.
I know. Well,
and his girlfriend was like, I don't want to talk religion at all. I was just like, oh, sorry, bitch. I didn't mean to offend you.
Well, I mean, there are atheists, that like me that do get that because I do kind of have an idea of spiritualism. Honestly, there are a lot.
You're more agnostic than.
Well, atheists can be agnostic. There are agnostic atheists, because they're
she's not. She's spiritual, but she don't want to talk about it at all because she not trying to argue.
Well, there are. Yeah. Well,
I was we just had a 10-20 minute discussion in front of you. Did we argue at all? She's like, well, no.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
Yeah, just have a conversation. Yeah, because
We did argue on one thing. He thought he knew Roman history, and he does. I'm like, dude, I'm a history major. Augustus did not come after Constantine. He came after Julius Caesar.
Yeah, it was after Caesar.
You're 100% wrong on that one. He tried looking it up. His phone couldn't do it. I was like, dude, your phone's showing you the wrong shit. Augustus Octavian. That's what you need to look up. And he didn't even know how to spell Octavian, so I just did it on my phone. Bruh, dude came to fucking power 44 BC before Christ. Ended his reign at 1480. The dude fucking ended the Roman Civil War. I know what I'm talking about. He did not start that shit. It was what's the name? Poly, fucking, you know what I'm talking about? Fucking, there's Julius Caesar and then Poly, whatever the fuck his name is. The other Roman general. Fucking,
I'm rusty when it comes to this shit.
Poly something. There's so many Polys.
Yeah, ignore the sample thing. Oh, yeah, Rose thinks that you sound...
Roman Civil War.
Also, funny enough, Rose thinks that you sound like a certain South Park character, but he can't place who it is, and it's driving him crazy, and I don't even...
Pompey! Not Poly, Pompey.
Pompey.
He ended that war against, and it wasn't even Pompey. It was Marcus Antony versus Octavian at the end.
Oh, Mark Antony.
He took up Pompey's, cause because that was his lieutenant.
Yeah.
And then Augustus took over for Julius Caesar, and he fucking destroyed Marcus, Antony. Marcus Antony's the one who was like, I'm a fucking...
Because wasn't he also, like, the
with,
wife of the Egyptian queen?
Well, not wife, but husband. Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, you know what I meant. Like, his wife was the Egyptian, Cleopatra, I think?
He was too busy partying in Egypt, and he didn't, like, get ready for the fucking war.
Actually, kind of weirdly enough,
weirdly
enough, I'm having a little familiar.
Augustus was like calculated.
Well, funny enough, funny enough, I'm having a little familiar with it because the original First Age of Empires actually had like a little campaign about that. Actually,
Pompey versus Julius Caesar was a real war. Marcus Antony versus Augustus was not even a fight, dude. He overwhelmed him in the first battle. It was over. The Civil War was over so quick with Augustus. He, like, destroyed him. So, fucking Marcus Antony was jumping off a ship and swimming away.
Yeah.
Had to strip his armor off to survive. Because he got destroyed in a naval battle like that.
It just had to amputate it, basically?
Yeah.
Damn.
Then he was stuck in the palace, the Egyptian palace with fucking Cleopatra, and they both fucking committed suicide.
Yeah, I remember that.
They knew where they were done. They knew,
and I think wasn't there like a siege, shit going?
Yeah, they didn't siege. They were like, you need to come out. You got like a few days to come out. If you don't come out, we're gonna come in. It's that simple, They just chose to kill themselves instead. That simple.
Let everything burn basically afterwards.
They were like, Marcus Antony was trying to convince himself that I will like challenge Augustus' single battle combat shit.
But he cowered out and basically...
After Cleopatra killed herself, he had grief, and he was just like, well, my wife's dead. I'm just going to kill myself now.
Damn.
What happened?
Because she probably,
She saw the writing on the wall.
So instead of
he had
like...
the pride issue. He couldn't accept.
Well, she couldn't either, I guess, because
she could. She killed herself. All she wanted, she wrote a note to Augustus saying, we will, but take care of my children.
Well, he never did because
he took care of Cleopatra's children that were not related to Julius Caesar.
Yeah.
That motherfucker, they fucking hunted his ass down. We don't even know if they found him or not. But they're like, there will not be any challenger to succeed the throne of Rome because, she did have a baby with Julius Caesar.
A bastard child, basically.
Before Marcus Antony. She had kids with Marcus Antony, too. And she's like, just take care of them. I don't care about that other older kid. Like, just don't kill my other kids. And they didn't. They didn't kill the other kids. But they were like, we are going on a full-on murder search for the son of Julius Caesar.
Damn. Well, he probably just fell into hiding and probably just became like,
a commoner, yeah.
Maybe just like went into some blacksmith trade.
I never hear any like, I'm the fucking heir of Julius Caesar. I'm an absurd.
I mean, if you got like literally an empire trying to hunt you down and kill you, would you want to pop up? Yeah, unless you were able to like find like some badass bandits like how Julius rose up and shit when he came to the pirates and the lore around that. Unless you're like got that charm or some shit, like there ain't no way.
It kind of pissed me off. His like me and him were having such a good discussion, and then his like girlfriend or wife was like, "All right,
she probably just
no more arguing." It was like, dude, we weren't even. I said, dude, like me and him shook hands like 6 times.
Yeah, well,
that's how good of a conversation.
I mean, weird as it is, maybe she just didn't want to see it. She probably was like, I just want to go home now, or something.
No, they just wanted to play pool. She played a game with Michael, and then me and him were just talking.
Well, then I don't get it then. Yeah, maybe she just didn't want to hear about it anymore. But she could have just been like, she just could have been like, hey, I just don't. You want to change the topic because I want to talk about this.
We will be on our way soon.
I guess we are.
I mean, I just got. No,
you literally just got here.
I did not. Have I smoked anything?
No, you did not.
Okay, well, it didn't sound like sarcasm. Motherfucker. Motherfucker.
Oh shit.
Little fucker.
You gonna go little motherfucker with my little string on the bone out
little trumper. No, you're not. Fuck you.
Oh shit.
Now I hear the sarcasm now. I hear the sarcasm.
Oh, now
I hear the sarcasm. He said, I am a Trumper. He said,
yeah, that's all. That's
Trump.
bullshit.
I'm voting for Trump. Totally, bro. Yeah, buddy. 100%, buddy. Dude, you just made Andrew almost like literally like spit up his fucking. He was like, yeah, he was mid drink, almost.
And then I had a mid bowl where I'm starting to
It was like, what the fuck? You hear his ass laughing?
You're not even on speaker, and I can barely hear it, and I'm giggling.
Hear you, and you're not even on speaker, and he's like, "This is some sarcasm."
This is funny. I'm like it. Pay attention, but
anyways, we'll be there.
But shit like this, why I laugh when race switch tried to accuse our coaches of being savage. Yeah, like when the Romans whose leaders had a fucking baby's axe. I know, right? I mean, for real.
Well, afterwards, she was not happy.
Because they will also say, like,
she did not like we were talking religion.
You know, look at these. They will have like PFPs of like Roman emperors and shit.
I don't want to talk about religion. I was
and it's like,
we're not talking religion. We're talking about the difference between spirituality and religion. Like some fucking like ziggurats and pyramids were built by religion, manipulating spiritual belief. Like that's what I'm trying to talk about. That's kind of the difference, you know. Like that's where it started to happen, where religion began and spirituality ended, because they took people's hardcore spiritual beliefs and they used it to manipulate people, just like Trump's doing now.
He ain't the only one, but he's probably the biggest figure doing it, I guess. Huh?
Oh, you gonna get a MAGA hat now? No.
You know what I want? I want one of those like gigantic, oversized, mega cowboy MAGA hats that are just ridiculously, retardedly huge.
Michael, was America ever great?
No, not really. It had great moments in history where it helped rise up.
How can you make something that was never great again? You know what they should have? Make Britain great again, because they were fucking great. You want to talk about colonial the fucking ideal colonial power? You're like, but they owned a quarter of the world. The sun never set on their empire.
Because God never trusted an Englishman in the dark. That's the quote they never want to tell you about. Yeah, I mean, touche, exactly. Touche on that one, yeah.
Because they never want to trust, God never trusted Englishmen in the dark.
That's why the sun never set on the English Empire.
That's fucking hilarious.
That's why I'm like,
yeah. He said, "Get our asses over here." All right.
All right. I'll get one more bowl loaded, and I'll get
it's midnight. I get it. All right. Lots of love. Talk to you in a little bit. Love, bye. He's been very positive today.
That's good.
Me and him bought like $200 worth of food at Winco today. He paid for it.
Oh, well, that's good.
On his EBT.
That's good.
I'm glad I did it, because his ass, if I didn't come with him to make him intelligently buy food, he would just like, I'm getting like a $10 salami and like a $20 fucking
just gonna get some snacks. Oh like, my god!
Get like the most elegant, like fucking possible.
The bougie, like, you know,
salad and sauce. Costs like $30. That's him. He is like luxury.
And you can make like a epic, you know, fucking salad like that, cheap as shit, just by buying like the raw produce and
like
maybe
$10.
Like, yeah, and the most expensive thing would be
maybe
by like a small bottle.
You only have 280. That's 128 from.
Yeah, just get a bunch of rice, beans, and like, you know, maybe a little like ground bean and grounded chicken or some shit.
Canned food, dude. Today I probably bought.
Yeah, that too. You know,
like making magic out of canned goods. Fucking atmosphere. You know that song I'm talking about? No guarantees in life. Talking about the struggle, economic American struggle. That's that song. Working 3 jobs, talking about shit like that. Atmosphere.
Oh.
I'll play it for you, man.
Play it for me.
It was one of the biggest MTV music videos back in like 2007 when I was a kid. It was like this is right before MTV kind of crashed.
Yeah, because I remember in the early days, like, funny enough, one of the early things I found Rammstein via was MTV back in the day.
But this guy, Atmosphere, is kind of underrated, but that song was overrated. It's big.
Like,
it's not.
I guess maybe
songs.
Some people might see it as a one-hit wonder, but
it's better. He has better songs, but this song hits people on the working class shit. And he's all like, I'm having to like. People acting like me. If I hit him, then everyone treats me like a monster because he's scolding his son for going out and smoking weed at a concert. He's trying to like teach his kid to do the right thing, but if he hits him, now suddenly everyone's gonna treat me like a monster, you know. And I'm like working 3 jobs, no overtime pay, no holiday. You know, that's why I'm playing the lottery. You know, he's like, I don't even want to go home yet, so I'm gonna drink this beer and talk to my cigarette. And it don't matter what channel or station.
Let me listen to the song.
He's sitting there at the bar watching the TV. He's like, don't matter what brand or station, anything to take away from the current situation.
Escapism.
Yeah.
It's commentary on escapism.
Fucking hardcore, like deep in the shit song, man. Like, atmosphere. You never heard that shit? No Guarantees. That's the song.
I don't think I've heard of it. I might have heard of it, but...
The only guarantee in life is a life worth dying for. Because death don't wait for no one. He's sitting on your front door. That's some hard shit right there, man.
Yeah. Most awesome dry beans. The bag is only like $1 or $2, depending on the bag size, and it's only worth like 3 or 4.
And we're supposed to be the greatest country in the world, and we have people like that. Millions of people identifying with that message.
More and more so than ever.
Like,
I mean, you even got like, you know, satirical artists like, you know, Wheeler Walker Jr., you know, saying fuck, have a song called "Fuck This Job." Have you heard that song yet?
I do.
Yeah, dude. I mean, dude, that song is such.
I love Wheeler Walker Jr.
I know, yeah.
He's like Harley if Harley went hardcore, like.
Yeah,
like,
I know, dude. That's
Harley like evolved. He's like the Charizard of Harley. Harley's like Charmander.
Yeah, he's a Charmander. Yo,
he's the Charizard Harley right there.
I know, man. Dude.
Good for real. Like talking about like I'm gonna fuck this bitch and suck that dick. That's Harley all the way. Like. Getting hella kinky, talking about some working class shit at the same time. Like, fucking.
For real.
Don't be picky at 2
some hella redneck shit, too, at the same time.
I love that redneck shit. You know that song? Yeah.
Oh, I know it. Of course I do. I love Real Walker's content, man. He's like pretty much he's like literally breaking his back over the fucking goddamn.
Your choice. Which one? Cigarette or a mook for me?
Well, I'll just finish this off. I'll give you a little baby mookie. A little baby one.
All right. I was going to work out today, then it started fucking deluging outside.
I know, dude, the rain, bro.
It was like...
I literally took my lunch right before it rained.
I'm like, I'm not going to go to the gym covered in rain and then come out the gym cold as fuck, soaked in sweat, and then go in the rain again. Like, fuck no.
No shit, dude, for real.
I'll do that after work tomorrow. When the shit's dry and warmer.
Yeah,
it was
seriously.
Cold as fuck.
I know, dude, it dropped.
It was like
today.
Summer, fall.
Fall for a day. You're getting a prelude of what's coming up, bitch. You know,
kind of shit. Yeah,
dude,
seriously. Get ready, bitch.
I know, for real. Walk a rain with umbrella colors. I mean, dude, I'm a Portlandian and Oregonian, bro. We just kind of like walk with a hoodie or some shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Dude, look at me right now.
Yeah, you're just wearing hoodie and shorts. Hoodie and shorts.
Dude, all day before it started raining hard, I was in flip-flops, and I was like, I was at Winco. I got out of Winco. Shit was fucking deluge. I was like, Michael, you need to just stay here with the cart underneath this. And I'm gonna get the car and pull up to the front. We need to just. I walked to the car. I was like, and flip-flops. I'm like, flip-flops. Like, I was getting wet as fuck.
I just found some funny, honestly, some traditional Portland style foul play. And this is by Mornax. Yeah, that's for you. Here you go.
The bowl looks dead.
That's a small bowl. I mean, it's a deep bowl, so I kind of packed it in a little. Yeah, I packed it. Well, no, I packed it in too.
More nicotine.
And I also packed it in a little bit, but yeah, I made sure it's cleared, so it should be okay. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, I saw a dude try to open a bottle of beer using a signpost outside of Freddy's. Totally busted a glass and I poured it out. I thought about helping him, but it was too late. Damn. Damn. That's fun as fuck. I know he likes his own this moment.
The smoothest smoke bowl you've given me in like months, bro.
Oh
it's
shit!
So fucking
you know what? Maybe I think those little mini one hitties right there is
because it's already in the bowl. If it's outside the bowl,
because I'm a little fat, and I'll just like just kind of suck that bitch.
That was smooth as fuck, bro. I get all this fucking saliva after nicotine, bro. I was smoking a cigarette outside of Wichita, talking to this guy named Riker. Cool dude, man. He's about to enter PCC.
Dude, Riker? Oh, that's a cool name, honestly.
There's some cool people at Wichita right now.
Oh, yeah.
Legit. And there's a dude named Riker. He's about to enter PCC. He's going in. He's either going to do a 2-year degree for renewable energy at PCC, or he's going to do the transfer degree to go Portland State for engineering.
Oh, yeah.
Cool fucking dude. He didn't realize he wasn't able. He's wrong. I didn't want to tell him he's wrong, but he's like, I wasn't funded at 18. You know why? Because you live with your parents. They made too much money. Now you're at 25, and they look at your income as just a fucking single adult.
Yeah,
like,
you're just a single adult guy, yeah.
I didn't want to bust his bubble, but I'm just like, I told him, that's all I said. I was like, my fucking tuition at PCC was covered by grants.
Yeah.
I didn't go in debt till fucking Portland State.
Yeah.
Because I did it so slow, it was expensive. I just was so slow. I went like 3.5 years, those last 2 years of Portland State. It was just slow, dude.
Yeah.
I had a lot of shit happen at once there, man.
Oh, yeah.
I was smooth sailing the first year. Like the last year, took me like 1.5 years, 2 years to finish the last year. The last 3 semesters.
Yeah.
So slow because of this fucking shit. Michael came back.
Oh, yeah. I remember. Yeah, that was during that era.
I'd never been more healthy in my life. I wouldn't say I was most healthy at high school, right? But strong. Because when I was like 22, 23 years old, and I was living at Fuller with Harley and Marcus,
mm-hmm.
and Marcus left, and then Gabe came in, and Michael came in. And I was so healthy. I had a routine, bro. I woke up every day and I ate some grain. Every day I ate some grain and water. And sometimes I didn't have time. I'll be like, oatmeal real quick, or even less. I'll be like, I have less time. I got like 5 minutes to bike to the max.
Right, yeah.
5 minutes.
Ooh.
I was throwing my bike.
Yeah, I remember that little area because it's near the max station, but you have to like hustle that fucking bitch.
I wouldn't go out the parking lot and then around and shit. Right here where the fence is, I just throw my bike over.
Yeah, then just hop over it.
Fucking army shit, dude. I'm about to get shot.
I know, like, this is drill. You know, like kind of shit.
It's like 0.6, 0.7 miles. I would do that shit in like 5 minutes. My record.
And then just like bump up that. I know where that was, so I know it. Dude, that is a hustle.
It's uphill a little bit.
Yeah, and then you have those stairs or the elevator and shit, depending.
They have
and then that little ramp, yeah.
But the hardest, like that, the ramp was the hardest part for sure.
Because you have to slow down and then turn around those tight little corners.
Like that, Monterey, there's that little bridge with the creek. Easy. Once you hit 82nd, if you have to stop.
Oh.
Sometimes I'm just like, it's a walk sign, and I'm already momentum up that hill. No problem, bro. I'd even fucking mountain bike hop that fucking curb and just diagonal that shit all the way around, like, just go so hard on that bike. You know how much miles I put on my bike in college?
Probably hundreds, if not thousands, at least.
$4,000 to $5,000. I looked it up. Like, I was like, every year, it's like, well, if I was going this far for these many days this year, I went to school this day, like, I done every 52
just kind of calculated. It was like 4,000 or 5,000 miles.
Yeah.
Fuck.
If you do the work,
I was underestimating it.
If you look at the commuting to school, and then you look at the like just rides we used to do, and you add that up, easy 4,000 or 5,000. Like on the school on its own was like 2,800 just to school. And that's like the short. I'm not like the adventure bike rides. I would do adventure bike rides to school all the way there sometimes. And then like the other way on the bike trail. I go up Bell, turn fucking left.
Right, I know what you're talking about.
And I'd be like, okay, I got 15 minutes to make it to the orange line. But sometimes I leave early and I'm like, because I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, I'm gonna go fucking I'm trying to psych myself up to get healthy right now because I'm talking about my abilities, you know what I'm saying? I would fucking bike all the way to Portland State, bro. Across the Telecom, everything. The whole way. Down the trail, OMSI.
It's good for waterfall, that?
Yeah. But you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can waterfall this, too. I bought it for both of us.
Oh, okay.
Original plan. I was going to kill it in the car. We can kill it here now.
Got strong.
Heavy, so strong. You should have done it the other way.
I know, for real.
That's enough for me right there on the little bit of weed, man. I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
A little bit. That's enough. Cigarette.
Funny enough, I still have the blunt too.
Give me a cigarette, then we're cool, but not a...
Yeah. Did you know that Reed College is the only college in the world with a nuclear reactor? Reed College in Oregon. That's actually pretty fucking badass. Yeah.
I would say now I'm scared to live by there because I found a place by Reed College, and Marcus at least thinks it's sick.
Well, why are you scared about being over there?
Well, at first I'm like, nuclear reactor right by my fucking place. What if they mismanage it or an earthquake? Think about that. Fukushima.
Well, I know. No, look, I don't know if you've been on my streams when I come to be criticizing nuclear reactors and shit, but it's...
I think I'm more pro than you are. You just need to make it fucking, like, fundamentally earthquake sound.
Well,
you can't do that with bridges. Why can't you do that with a building?
Sure. And also, like, I mean, I'm more about fusion more so than fission, too, as well, because we have fission right now, and fusion is also way, 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 way more safer than fission right now. So it's like, if we can, like, capitalize on that, which we're getting pretty close. I mean, we've
talking about nuclear versus fission.
Well, no, they're both nuclear.
Different kind of nuclear.
Yeah.
One is powered by fucking uranium.
Splitting atoms and shit.
Certain, like, there's two elements they use for...
A lot of it's out of splitting, while fusion is combining
uranium and titanium or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? China has you heard about that? China's got a... Did you know about there's different kinds?
We know how to do nuclear. Japanese source super building a reactor on the shore of the fucking ocean.
Maybe it
wasn't necessarily that. It was because of the generators being on the ground instead of on the top of the building or something. It's human error fundamentally either way. That's my problem with nuclear shit.
Well, nature too. Japan is just a dumb place to build that there.
Sure.
It's fucking most...
I mean, honestly, they probably have better with, like...
watching Shogun. Right? And it's about, like, the founding of Japan's...
Yeah, they were underground.
Takagawa thing. You know what I'm talking about? When that began? You know, Edo. You ever heard of Edo?
The Edo period?
No, not the Edo, but Edo.
Edo?
It's a city.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, it's the same name. It's like the Edo period, Edo. Because the Edo was...
What modern day town is Edo?
Edo? Or what you just said? Yeah.
What town is it today?
I don't really know, honestly, right off the top of my head.
Tokyo.
Oh, it's just Tokyo. Oh, it's
just Tokyo.
Well, I'm not just saying just Tokyo.
It's just Tokyo.
I'm not saying like that. I'm saying, you're just saying Tokyo.
There's no city there. Did you?
I know. I mean, at least for a long time, there wasn't one there because I think Kyoto was like the bigger city at the time for a long time.
There's two samurai warriors that won that war basically together. A lieutenant and a fucking like king emperor, basically, that said, "I'm a generalissimo." You know what generalissimo means, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, generalissimo.
Generalissimo. It's the only word they could find in the Indo-European language that represented somewhat of what that means. It doesn't really mean exactly what we think generalissimo. That's an Italian word.
Yeah, I know it's an Italian word.
It's like a grand general supreme, whatever. Like, it's like the president of the generals in the Italian language. Not quite the same meaning in Japanese. It's like even higher up. Like, it's some divine shit, you know? Like, rule to fucking, like, divine rule. Like,
yeah.
We're not going to rule this country with the emperor, but he's important because he's like the priest of the country. But really, the country now is going to be years where it's like countries ruled by the emperor.
Yeah, because also with Japan,
because times where
there was the shogun versus the emperor kind of stuff, especially
back and forth.
And during the industrial period when Europeans started kind of really making a prominence there, like the last little bit of the shogun, and the last
culture started
and the Battle of Shiriyama, Mount Shiriyama. You should learn about that because it's pretty fucking insane, badass kind of thing.
Bureaucrats and administrators in the government and the military, Japan, initially, like when they were fighting the Russians in the fucking Japanese War.
Oh yeah,
like 1890 something.
Yeah,
I know
about that.
That's when they started their empire.
Their expansion. And then
they
kind of retook a little bit of Korea and stuff.
This was so fucking shocking to the world that an Asian, a non-white person, country could beat a European country in war. It was fucking shook the foundations of the world.
Especially if the
Think
Russian
about
Navy at the time.
The world's ideology.
Yeah.
Completely shook it.
Because they had like 55 days and shit like that.
The
Japanese like stand against the Orient, so to speak, is what they called them.
Advocating. They had a meeting in Australia, almost like an Anglo-Saxon world reunion culture.
Yeah.
It was like a deal between England, UK, all that, the United States.
The Commonwealth and the U.S.
Germany was welcome. Certain countries are all welcome. There's this Protestant.
A lot of colonial powers that are the Portugal and shit.
It's like a Protestant and some Catholic all meet up.
It was like a Western colonial kind of expansionistic
white
kind of
religion meet up.
Well, basically colonial expansionistic meetup, basically.
Japan was allowed to come for some reason, out of respect.
Well, I think a lot of it was because in those late 1800s, in a weird way, they welcomed it.
The Dutch and the Japanese. Did you know that when they
were
no white people, but they built an island, literally
like a little island for the Dutch, where they could trade with them and shit.
The Dutch can come, and we'll facilitate trade on their little tiny ass island that we made them. No, for real, it was only big enough for like a little house.
Port and trade house. Yeah, like a little trade port, basically.
A little house with like an island on it. That's it. And they had like the smallest ass quarters for these Dutch people because it's different ideology. They're like, Europeans, we want our big house space. They're all like, we're just going to give you what is necessary for like a person trying to survive in the fucking Survivor Man. Survival Man shit. So like a fancy Survivor Man house. It's like, it's good enough for nobles in our country. But it's noble. But it's secure.
I mean, it's respectable enough for them. It's respectable enough for them because, because wooden Japanese architecture and shit is like
beautiful.
It's art.
It's not.
Yeah, they weren't willing to give the exact quality.
That luxury feel to it, but it's small.
Give him like a taste of the culture. Like, here's how
there was a lot of Dutch complaints over the years. They're like, this is too fucking. This is like.
You don't understand how tiny this shit is. It's ridiculous.
My mental health, man. I'm stuck here for 9 months at a time. Like, that's how they rotated.
Damn.
Like 9 months at a time. They're just like,
it's probably like an early
out of here.
It's kind of like an early claustrophobia thing. It's like, I want to move around and stuff. Kind
Too
of
small.
Yeah.
Anyways, but that was the thing. So they've been doing that in 1800s, and then you have England involved eventually. Then the U.S. really getting involved. Saying,
and also the French.
You're open to everybody now. The U.S. did that.
Yeah, and the French
fucking cannon
UK
fire,
French
bitch.
Yeah.
You want to take this cannon?
Yeah, they also gave them Gatling guns
and
all sorts of shit.
They gave them time to answer. They're like, cannons, bitch. We're going to come back in a year.
Yeah, like,
you don't have a good answer, cannons up, bro.
I mean,
like, well, fuck.
Well, I mean, weirdly enough, like the U.S.
big-ass warship.
Yeah, like the U.S. and...
Matthew Perry.
Yeah, because the U.S. and Japan in this early days actually kind of had a decent little relationship for a minute. Because they were...
Not at first.
Not at first.
At first, it was like, be calm, bitch.
Yeah.
Matthew Perry, straight up. Admiral he straight told them, you know what? We got cannons up right now. That's what he did. I'm not just lying about this. He was... Because English in the U.S. early on, they believed in ultimate freedom, which means you cannot not trade with me. I have a right to trade with you. If I want to, you cannot, because that's like pure capitalism. Because the Whigs, they created this idea that it's like, well, a sovereign country can't not trade with me because that's just not right.
Yeah.
Because it's against capitalism and what we believe in.
And capitalist ventures and blah, blah, blah.
It's like their capitalist belief was so more important than sovereignty of nations.
Or just like the respective indigenous lands and cultures and shit as well.
But not necessarily indigenous. Like, Japanese they were instantly impressed by the Japanese.
So sure, yeah. I mean, there's going to be variables to it. Yeah.
As well. They're instant respect because they've heard about them. They even write about it in the Bible. Like, silk trade, man.
Well, yeah.
They know China's a big deal.
Yeah.
They know Japan's a big deal.
I mean, a lot of it just kind of comes from that capital side. I mean, at least in those times, especially like the colonial capital mindset, where they kind of disregarded those people.
Japanese were not indigenous by any means.
Yeah, they originally never were.
With Shinto.
Yeah,
Religiously, spiritually.
And honestly, like if you look into Shintoism, it's kind of badass in a way sometimes.
Shinto is very like mixture of like God, human God personification, and
but also
animism.
like literally everything.
Animism.
Yeah, literally everything, including a
animism.
rock, a river. So, like they believe there's like a spiritual like God or
Not
being,
just that,
deity.
The creation of Japan was by the gods.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it's also kind of cool in a way. I mean,
they have like a certain reason why the island is split into like monotheistic, like originally, like they're multiple gods over time.
Seems to be fucking active on that. Oh yeah, but those two ethnic groups in the Okinawans, indigenous Okinawans too, that have lived for
He's
a long
right
time.
though. Only you had your indigenous Japanese.
That's true. Yeah.
You did, and then you had a Mongol race that came in later, that was a bigger number. That happened. There was
I think that was probably
there was a mass. There was and you were there originally.
Oh, okay.
The North Island, the Sapporo.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Hokkaido?
No, you're right. Yeah, I know you're right.
No, it's Hokkaido.
Hokkaido. Yeah.
Hokkaido is the northern island of Japan. Japan originally owned more northern islands in their territory, and then the Russians took it. Straight up.
Yeah, the Kurili Islands. Or the Kurili Islands or something like that.
Under Japanese rule.
Yeah.
The southern part, not all of it. That's a really expensive chain. You know what I mean? But the southern part that was adjacent to Hokkaido, they had influence there too with those native people. And it's funny when you look at their record, like their translations, they all had the same word for Europeans and for like these indigenous people. Like, but call them basically equivalent to barbarian. Which makes sense because think about the Romans. Anything outside of their
they would just see them as lessers and barbarian kind of type of people.
What did they think was the real natural world? They had a word for it in Roman. It was like the Akananani. Akanoaman. It was
Akanoaman?
Yeah, Akanoiman or whatever. And it ended E and man. I know that. It was man at the end. And it was, or Akanoiman
or something.
Akanoka. It was like that. It's ended with a C sound in the, in a vowel. Anyways, that was the like traditional idea of where the real civilized world was. And the rest was like this outside dark space that wasn't real life. It was like underworld shit.
Yeah.
That's their perspective. And Japanese kind of had that too. It's very interesting. It's like
the Russians also took us to Kala Island.
But it's very like European like mindset. They're like the England of.
I think a lot of that probably was during the Meiji period a little bit, where
they had like a superiority.
Well, they kind of had a little bit before too.
They've always had a little bit of a superiority complex.
Yeah, and it still kind of exists to this day, unfortunately. That's why they're having a birth rate / immigration problem.
They're better than all Asians. So I talked about this conference. They were allowed to go. The European, like later, like 1900 shit, like 1902 type
something
shit.
Like that. Yeah,
in Australia, they all met up there.
Yeah, you were saying about that earlier,
Yeah. Japanese said, we are not Asian. We're white. I'm not lying, dude. I read the fucking, like, straight up speech and documents that they spoke. And it was like, we need to be included in the white race. They literally like, fuck all these Asians. We're better than them. We are so better that we're part of like your societal
Western white, idea. Almost.
We have your economy. They're doing the same thing.
We're almost like the most Western element of the Pacific, which is the most Western element of man's destiny. So they could probably attribute it to that too.
They're technically the third tier of industrialized countries that were colonial, because Britain was first, and then you had the second tier, which was like Germany, France, more continental Europe.
Yeah.
First was Britain. They started in 1700s.
They were the ones who kind of started.
The ships. I told you, geography.
Well, also the Spaniards too. I mean, a little bit.
They need railroad.
Well, also there was like,
navigable rivers into the interior of the country.
Well, the Spaniards also wanted to expand too further. Maybe that's where you're coming from, because they had to, go to.
Talking about industrial. Spain didn't have the resources to industrialize. You have to have 4 resources.
That's why they went west too, and what they thought was India was America.
But they didn't get that resources. They didn't.
But they got different other riches though.
That's one of the reasons why they had a giant depression way back. I learned about this. They had so much gold and silver coming into their country. It was like mass inflation.
Yeah, it ended up being a hyperinflation.
It fucking destroyed them. They recovered
And a lot
for
of
like
those other
100.
colonial powers took
Think
advantage
about
of it in a way.
1400s, 1500s. Spain doesn't become really powerful again till the late 1600s or early 1700s. They were fucking crippled for like 100 years, 50 years, dude. After that, that fucking shit. Just think about the Great Depression. Think about a country that weak comparatively.
They also had like the most
has to go through a Great Depression. You don't think that's like some Middle Ages, like fucking end of the Bronze Age type shit. Economic, climatic fucking collapse for them. Think about it. They lost all their fucking wealth all at once. Like their colonial possessions just crumbled over 200 years steadily. Spanish Empire, they just lost everything steadily. The French, they lost it all at once. English, they kind of lost it all at once.
I mean, over a transitionary period, at post, World War I and World War II.
Because they had a more real foothold on colonialism because they industrialized.
They definitely did, yeah.
Because they industrialized.
And the Dutch too, or not the Dutch, but the Portuguese too, to an extent. Because the Portuguese, have some colonies in Africa.
I don't think you can include Spain in the industrialized tier.
At that point,
Japan was first before Spain. True industrial power in the world. We're talking World War I capability with tanks. Who came first?
Well, they came tanks and shit, but
real power.
I think it gets a little more complicated at that point.
They were retreating, and the Japanese were expanding. Think about that. When I'm talking about late 1800s. Who was expanding and who was collapsing? Spain was collapsing.
Yeah.
Japan, they were expanding.
Well, yeah, because they started to, industrialize.
If you respect the Spanish, why don't you respect us? We're more powerful than they are economically now. Do you get my point now?
Oh, sure, yeah.
That's really where I'm trying to go at. I shortened it. I had more to say, but that's really where I'm trying to go.
Like Japanese horror. I found a free movie on YouTube, but it's only 360p, sorry.
So why shouldn't it be white?
Am I saying on Discord? Go watch it out. Cool.
For all intents and purposes, they're the same oppressive white man to indigenous people that the Europeans were.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Sure. I have some thoughts I'm kind of pending on because I definitely want to still play pool. But
overpowered country just says, I'm better than you. I'm going to take your shit.
Yeah.
Japanese were doing that. And they're like, we're doing the same thing as you. We're on there.
Well, because I definitely got some thoughts. So I'm just kind of putting a pin on it.
Because they're brown, though, the white people would say no. While we respectfully no. Like, you're not white.
Sure, yeah.
You're a little bit lesser.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit. That's what they all said to the Japanese. And that pissed them off. They got mad. That's why they weren't just like, okay, we're going to build up in secret and try to beat you in, 1920s. 2-decade build-up.
Yeah. Well,
they're all samurai. Did you know the whole most of the administration and bureaucrats, they were fucking samurai.
I know. I mean, at least when it comes to that. I'm just trying to kind of put a pin on it a little bit because I just, I know I want to wrap it because I don't want to play pool because we can't keep talking about it. Yeah.
We do need to go, but all right.
Yeah. Because, I know we become a little tangented on a little bit because I'm at least trying to keep a little time. And plus,
you're 100% right. Your people are probably irritated by
it. No, it's not that. It was honestly because YouTube was kind of being a little weird there for a second. I just don't
telling us that we're getting too deep with guns and shit. Tanks, mentioning tanks.
Nah, I don't think it was that. It's just, I know sometimes it does that occasionally.
Turn it up. Good way to end it.
Oh, you know what? Hey, fair enough. I actually kind of forgot this was on the list. It's a lot.
Life is
doesn't bother close by. Well, that's why we're trying to play a little rapid fire pool. Maybe get a singular drink.
I got my fucking brother to chill the fuck out. I'm about to have 3,800 in my account tomorrow. My roommates are chill. I have no problems right now.
That's good.
Michael's not a problem. I have no problem.
That's good.
He was cool today, man. He was a little.
That's good.
I feel a little bit.
Oh, yeah, a little
stony. I was just like,
honestly, him being stony is way better than being drunky.
I told him, you don't even need to get a job right now. You need to get healthy.
I mean, seriously, he just needs to focus on himself and humble himself a little bit.
I talked to my therapist, and I was like, I know this would be true because it's true for me and anyone else. If you do one thing you're supposed to every day, consistently, 2 years later, you're going to be in a better place. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Consistently do the right thing every day. It's that simple.
Yeah. I mean, even if it's the tiniest little thing, I mean, you just got to start somewhere, right?
do one good thing every day for yourself.
Because that's the start. I mean, so you know, even if it's small as fuck. I mean, you gotta start
mental
somewhere.
health.
Yes.
It might be an intangible, but all those intangibles that you do right for yourself every day, with those tangibles too combined on a consistent basis, you're gonna be in a better place mentally, physically, and financially. I'm telling you, 100%. I've been listening to all these like motivational speakers. I've been listening to a lot of stuff recently, man. You just gotta be disciplined and consistent, man. Disciplined, consistent, and positive. I used to have a problem with this, man. I still do a little bit. I got a little hate in me, you know? Don't wish for your competitors to lose. Just root for yourself to win.
Yeah.
And celebrate your colleague's success because, you know what? I'm trying to be the best I can be. If you push me harder to be better than you, is that competition?
I mean, yeah.
It's like that in business. It's like that in economic investment. All that. It's very competitive.
Well, it's also
if everyone's being dumb, I don't have to be my best. I just have to be a little better. And that's just these people's points. Like, surround yourself with people better than you.
Yeah.
So you can be as good as them and then push them to be better than you. Because you beat them, they're like, what the fuck? The 10th least dude worked his way up and beat me, the little twerp. I'm gonna show him a rematch, basically. Next trade, you know, you have all these quarters. Elon Musk probably did that at one point. They're like, who the fuck is Elon Musk?
Nicest house in a shitty neighborhood. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of how, that's another way to put it.
How is Elon Musk beating me right now? Think about that.
Because his parents, enriched himself from an emerald slave mine.
Or how did fucking Mark Zuckerberg or Jim Bezos, they all came from a spot that wasn't that big.
Yeah.
And then suddenly they're like really big and winning and beating these other people who are like, who the fuck are you to be at this height? Go back down, bitch.
Exactly, yeah.
And they're like, well, I'm going to get on my A game now. I'm been relaxing, chilling, get my luxury life and shit.
And I'm going to keep everyone down,
let my inferiors do the work for me.
And basically exploit them as much as possible to maximize my own luxury.
And then suddenly it's like, this guy is undercutting me and winning. I gotta be more.
That's the reason why they're so cutthroat, because they never want to.
They're like, I have to get more invested in my company.
I don't want to have to deal with the idea of someone trying to beat me. Ugh, it's already bad enough that sometimes I have like one or two of these other billionaires, but the idea of some peasant serf doing it, no, I cannot allow such an opportunity for them.
I'll show you my superior intellect.
Or just like my cutthroat, idea to make sure that you have no opportunity economically. Either way, that comes from that cutthroat intellect.
But they're using more intelligence, aggressive, mental aggression.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're using more mental aggression towards you. So
also, it's a nigga voice. Do it now.
But why wouldn't you try to new thing. Let me invest in you, and I'll make money off you. And some of them do. And they're the ones who are still around.
Yeah, like the Arizona CEO guy, for Arizona Teas, like he's always maintained his, principles about that shit. He's like one of the few rich guys.
You're misunderstanding me.
Oh, no.
I'm about these big fucks who are exploitive as fuck. And then they're like, this guy's undercutting me. What is he doing? I'm not. Let me go into business with you.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
that happens too.
Yeah, that happens.
Those are the smart motherfuckers. And you know why? They're not chilling, relaxing. They're doing that consistent discipline shit. And they're like, what's out there? What can I exploit? Oh, I'm going to exploit Elon Musk, but he's so fucking good. He's better than me at this point. So you know what? I'm going to allow him to be equal. Because I make money being in business with him.
If anything, his own foibles or his own doing.
I'm still going to make money in my own. Like, he's not going to undercut me anymore. I'm still going to make my money.
If anything, Hunter undercuts himself when it comes to Musk.
But do you see what I'm saying? He's doing that now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, all right, I invest in them. I still make the same money that I'm making before they undercut me. But now I make money off of them. Because I'm an investor now. I make them bigger. Therefore, I make myself bigger. And then I make money off of his bigger. Think about that. We're both bigger now. I'm making more money now because we're working together. But also, you owe me a little bit. I kind of invested in you. So I make more money now. It's like a 60, 70, Like Elon Musk getting 30 at first, but Elon Musk's surpassing these motherfuckers because he
Yeah.
has so much
The
fucking.
competitive personality helps me to make money. Gates was that way since he was a kid. Yeah. I mean, a lot of them probably were too. You know, when it comes to the people that he's also talking about.
Some of them didn't have as much privilege as Elon. They still made it big.
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg is not that rich when he was growing up, but he stole shit.
Yeah. But yeah, let's have a nice little boat with that, man. Let's get ourselves at least a little bit of pool time and drink a poo or something. You know, all that fun shit.
I'm not going to the gym tonight.
For real, right?
Fuck.
Toodaloo.
Gotta get my shit together, man.